What's up guys, Freddy Fishfinger here, and I'm going to be talking to you about Pokemon Hollow Mysteries. This is going to be the second update video, and the last one in total actually. And I'm just going to throw a couple spitball ideas at you guys, and then you guys are going to find out about the entire game and everything. I wanted to do this just so that you guys can see that I'm still going ahead with this, but it's a slow process and whatnot. I'm going to talk about how far I've actually gotten and what I intend to do for the rest of the game at the very end, if you really just want to see that. But I'm going to mention a couple things I've changed and updated just so you guys can see how much progress has actually been made since the last update video. First thing is that I couldn't do anything with the title screen still. I tried to screw around with that, and those of you that saw the previous video on Hollow Mysteries know that I wanted to fix that and I couldn't get anywhere and yada yada yada. But I decided to include the actual picture that I intended on using as the title screen in the folder that you guys are going to download once you actually get the game. What this will mean is that if you guys intend on making a YouTube series or whatever it is on the net or whatever, and you want a better title screen than the one the game actually shows, which is a little bit dodgy, you can go ahead and use that if you wish. That's what it's there for, because I want the game to be as good as possible, but I just can't make it perfect. That's why I'm doing that. The other thing is that I've had to slightly alter the maps, so the original map pictures that I showed in the previous video, I'm still using them, but I'm using more updated versions because I've had to change a couple of areas and whatnot. But the ones that you guys will get once you get the game will be all good. You should be able to pinpoint where you are at any point on the map and see where to go from there, so that you can actually follow the game rather than just being, you know, completely blindfolded going throughout the game and not really having any idea of where you're going. I already had done the sprites and showed some of the better ones off in the previous update video, but I just wanted to mention that for those that didn't see that video, so that you can know that some of the sprites that were in the game that you can currently play, Hollow Mysteries, they weren't always up to scratch, but now they're a lot better. Now we're going to go in and talk about some of the new things that I've gone ahead and done for this version, or not this version, but moving forward, this is what we've got now. First thing is that I've decapitalized all the Pokemon names throughout the game, bar Celebi, and the reason for that is, for whatever reason, when I tried to decapitalize Celebi, the ROM froze, stuffed up everything. So it just doesn't want to work. But all of the other Pokemon in the game are decapitalized, and in my opinion it looks a hell of a lot more, I don't know, professional, or it just looks better. It definitely looks a hell of a lot more like the Black and White games and X and Y and everything, where the names are decapitalized. So that's why I've gone ahead and done that. But after doing that, what I've gone ahead and done is actually I started going through and realizing that there's a whole bunch of information which I don't necessarily need to provide, but it does make the game better for those who really want to know everything they can. So you know how you'll buy a strategy guide when a game comes out, and you'll see, you know, if you want to find where a certain PM is, or where you can get certain items, or what level a Pokemon learns a certain move, or what level it evolves, or everything. So I've gone ahead and I've provided some documents. The first of which is the level up moveset, which you guys can see here. And it's basically, it just shows you, you know, the name of your Pokemon, the number of its Pokedex number, so of course Bulbasaur comes first, the levels it learns each move. Now I've gone ahead and checked these, and I am pretty sure that all of these are accurate, so if there's a couple of mistakes, bear with me, but these should be pretty accurate. So you can use these to work out, you know, when you want to evolve your Pokemon, what level you should expect to learn a certain move, so forth. And these goes all the way down, so I'm quickly going to scroll through, as you guys can't see any of this because it's way too fast for you. But even Pokemon like Mamoswine and stuff like that I've included with their Pokedex number. So the easiest way to find out where your Pokemon is to go into your Pokedex once you're actually playing the game. Find out what number it is, scroll down to that number, or I guess if you want, you can, do control find or whatever command it is, whatever system you're using, and then type in the name. It'll come up and what level that Pokemon learns, all its moves and everything. So we'll get rid of level up movesets because the next one that I want to show is the Pokemon evolutions. Now I'm not sure whether I had something like this previously or not, but this one is much more thorough and it shows you, when a Pokemon evolves, and if it doesn't evolve, that Pokemon won't come up, but it clearly shows how it evolved. So, Clefairy into Clefairy at level 15, and there have been a couple changes since the previous version because I decided that things like happiness and so forth are just very frustrating to deal with. That's why Clefairy into Clefairy at 15. Things like Vulpix into Ninetales are still with the Firestone and whatnot, but you can always just come into this Pokemon Evolutions document and check out what evolves at what level, and of course you can see trade evolutions don't necessarily exist either. Okay, next one is the TM locator. So I've gone ahead and I have decided that I really need to provide just about every TM that I can within the game. There's a couple which I didn't see had much purpose, so I didn't bother. Same with the HMs as well, like HM 1 and 2 and 6 and so forth. They weren't necessary, so I haven't scripted them in anywhere. And TM48 with that. I'm not sure whether there's another one or not that I'm missing, but TM3 maybe, I think. Either way, Calm Mind and Return, you guys can see that they're not in any specific point at the moment. I haven't put them in just yet, but I will be planning on putting them in somewhere. So this document will get updated once I have actually put those two in. So you don't have to worry about them. By the time you guys can actually play this version of the game, it will all be sorted, and you guys will be able to know just about everything you need to know, plus more of the game, where it is, etc., etc. Now we get up to the point where I talk how far I've actually got through the actual game. And the reason why it's been slow and so forth is because putting it together, all these documents and trying to learn everything and whatnot and scripting it to make sure it's all accurate and stuff has taken its time. And then I've actually had to play through the game and check it. So right now, everything up until the Elite Four is all spot on with its scripts. So there is no problems up until that point. Up to that point in the game, I believe we're all okay and nothing needs to be changed. Of course, once I script out everything in the game, I'll have to re-go through the game and then play through it again to make sure that everything is spot on. But I will be able to check that once all my scripting is done. So that just gives you an idea. Of course, with being up to the Elite Four, that means there's about 5 or so trainers left, and then the small bit of post-game that I've got at the end. Finally, I just wanted to say that previously I wasn't able to give a date of what time I would think the actual game would be done, and I'm still quite hesitant to do that, and I will have to keep you guys updated if this doesn't happen, but I do have an idea of what sort of date that I want to say that this game is available. I plan on doing a January release because with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire out, it's kind of like everybody's focused on that or whatever, so I don't want to push it back too far, but at the same time I want that hype to sort of die down a bit. So I feel like with Christmas and New Year's gone and stuff like that, we can start anew. So I think we'll aim for, let's say January 10th, and we'll see how that works out. In any case, that's everything that I've wanted to say. There will be one final update video after this one, but that's not going to be mentioning anything else that's happening within the game, because that will be kind of like a promotion video showing the actual game off. Because at that stage, everything should be done. So I'll keep you guys updated if January 10th doesn't work, but that's what we're going to be aiming for at the moment. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and leave a like if you want to show some support for Hollow Mysteries, because I do really want to get this game as good as I possibly can. And with that, Freddy Fishfinger, out.